Hello, I'm Kevin Kitzler, the principal at Waukesha South High School. I'm excited to be here with the team to share with you our AVID journey along with our goals. So there is 5 of us here today, but as you see throughout the presentation, there'll be quotes from other students and staff here at South High School. So we'll take some time to introduce to you the staff that is here presenting with me today.
And my name is Maria D'Amato. I'm an assistant principal here at South, and I also oversee the Health and Engineering Academies.
Hello, my name is Alyssa Barrett. I am the instructional coach as well as our AVID site coordinator at South.
Hi, my name is Dan Schreier. I teach math at South High School, and I also have taught the AVID elective for the last 10 years.
Hello, I'm Amanda Wagner, and I serve as our AVID district director.
I wanted to take a moment to just share with you the school district team that has supported South here around our AVID journey, along with our leadership team. And then we have our AVID elective team, as well as our AVID site team. Our essential question today is, why does South want to become a national demonstration school, and how has AVID impacted us all?
We have been on our AVID journey for 13 years. We started in 2009, was our first year of implementation. And our initial why for implementing AVID was we were seeing a change in demographics, as you can see from the data on the graph, as well as some disproportionality. And we initially thought AVID would be a great way to help us do some professional development on literacy and to help grow our advanced placement classes in Waukesha. Well, 13 years has been a long time, and we have a little timeline here to walk you through it. But I want to highlight just a couple things on the timeline. You'll see that from 2008 to 2015, we really focused on creating a rock-solid AVID elective program. However, in 2016, we saw some big changes, and with the CCI implementation, realized that we needed to grow AVID school-wide because what was working for our AVID elective students also was something that would benefit our students school-wide. District funding began to kick in, so we had some money to train our staff. We also aligned the CCI with our school improvement plan, and since 2017, we have quickly grown to AVID school-wide. You'll see becoming a site of distinction, growing our AVID elective to 9 sections, and looking at AVID not as a program, but as a system. So here we are today in 2021, attempting to be a national demonstration school. There have been a lot of changes, and hopefully on that timeline you saw we've had 6 principals since our implementation of AVID. With changes in administration, AVID has remained our consistency. It's helped us to drive our systems, given us a common language for our staff and students, distributed our leadership, and helped us to become a center for teaching and learning. It allows us to ensure that we live our mission statement here at South every single day. Learning, growing, succeeding, every person, every day.
Throughout this presentation, we're going to talk through our 3 goals, the first one beginning with systems. We do encourage you to pause and take a look at some of our artifacts as we work through this. We structured our goals to include the why, the how, and how we know that it's working. Our first goal is around systems. So through distributive leadership, the AVID site team and instructional leadership team will grow AVID school-wide to develop and refine systems to close opportunity gaps. Our measurements are through our AVID school-wide walks, growth in the CCI, and by the amount of teachers that we have AVID trained that have led to an increase in WICR strategies being practiced within our classroom. We want to just talk about why we chose this systems focus. So in 2016, we noticed that we were having a huge lack in our systems. What we wanted to do is take a look at our data, and that's what we did through our school improvement planning process, which we call our SAIL process within the school district. We also use the CCI to provide guidance on how to access and grow our AVID school-wide. Within this presentation, you'll also notice, again, teacher quotes. Please make sure that you pause and read. We wanted our teacher voices to be included. The how of growing our systems was through our theory of action. So again, within our artifacts under systems, you'll notice our theory of actions for the last 5 years. I would encourage you just to take a look at the progression of those theories of action. The most recent one is here pictured on the slide. We wanted to create an instructional leadership team of AVID trained instructional leaders to grow that throughout our entire school-wide system. And our AVID site team really helped us to reboot and focus on the domains of the CCI and school-wide AVID. So we wanted to take what was working within our AVID elective and we wanted to spread that throughout our entire school. We did use our AVID Center data to help shape this school improvement plan. And with the school improvement plan, we informed all of our stakeholders of what that plan was and then provided professional development as well as a 100-day plan around our theory of action. Continuing on the how, we really provided transparency and guidance with our CCI at the site level. So we had a lot of different teams looking at the CCI to help provide evidence on where we fell. And that helped us develop a strong system at the core of AVID school-wide. We also did expose our leadership team and other teams to the CCI, and we relaunched AVID school-wide with the assistance of the CCI at the center of it. So we had a lot of transparency with our staff, making sure that we knew where we were and where we wanted to go. And how do we know that it's working? So a couple of ways we know it's working is we've moved from a highly certified AVID school from 2015 to 2018 to now an AVID site of distinction. Our instructional leadership team has all been trained in AVID in multiple strands. And we're also going to talk a little bit about our AP data. Something else that we just wanted to share was that we, since May of 2018, had surveyed our staff, and 97% of them believe that we should pursue this journey that we're on to AVID National Demonstration School.
As Maria just shared, we've looked closely at a lot of data, diving deeply into advanced placement data since 2010, 2011, which is when our first class of AVID sophomores began. We've seen incredible increase in numbers. In 2011, we had 375 AP tests taken. That number has increased all the way to 850 tests taken over the last year. We encourage you again to pause your video and take a look at both the AP placement testing trends data at the top that compares South with neighboring schools, West High School, North, and eAchieve, and also the percent increase in the number of exams taken since 2011. Not only have we looked at data just as a total in our school, but we've also desegregated the groups in a number of ways to look at, are we reaching all of our students? Are we helping all students find ways to challenge themselves in a variety of rigorous classes? That includes AVID trained teachers leading professional development to encourage students in a variety of ways. Along with AP data, we continue to work diligently to create structural support for our AVID students. Looking at our 2020 senior AVID data, we have some really fantastic things happening in the AVID elective. We hope for our students to feel supported and pushed to achieve their goals. Our 2020 seniors earned over $1.5 million in college scholarships. Together as a group, they took over 144 AP and Project Lead the Way courses. And overwhelmingly, they consistently said that they would recommend AVID to a friend, that they were all accepted to a college, that they felt AVID helped them become better students. They improved their self-advocacy skills, their leadership skills, and their organizational skills.
Next steps that we will be taking is continuing to work as a school leadership team to implement supports for all of our students. So creating a system, we have a system currently that we use just in time for our students for support. So continuing to monitor that system that we have in place to ensure that all students have access to the support they need. Also, to go along with that, the next steps that we're going to continue to focus on is our work around the curriculum. So continuing to focus our work in each of the departments and our elective areas around creating a higher level of understanding of the rigorous work that students are doing in the classroom, and then ensuring that we have rigorous instructional practices to support them. So the AVID is how we bring that guaranteed and viable curriculum to all of our students.
So our second school-wide goal then is looking around WICOR and looking at the CCI, saying that 80% of teachers will routinely use WICOR strategies across all contents and environments. And the way we're measuring this currently is through our AVID school-wide walks, our WICOR Wednesday walks, and classroom observations and coaching cycles, which we'll address in this next goal. So again, this was mentioned already in the presentation, but our why of really bringing WICOR school-wide is that we were noticing so much success in our AVID elective classes that we wanted to impact all students. And so we started seeing more students doing the heavy lifting, and we wanted to expand this school-wide. We wanted less sit and get in our classrooms. We wanted to keep that rigor increasing in all content areas. And then we also knew that WICOR was being used as the support for processing the materials, and it had that research-based practices that teachers were getting behind. And so that's kind of why we decided to keep moving forward with the WICOR professional development and support in our classrooms. Again, we would encourage you to pause the presentation here and look at two different teacher voices about why they believe in WICOR in the classroom. So the how of building WICOR school-wide, it's been definitely a process, as we talked about with this. We've started small with collegial studies around WICOR, kind of bringing in small groups of people who are interested in WICOR right off the gate, and then being able to spread that school-wide authentically and engaging more students with it. We are committed to modeling WICOR strategies during all professional development. So whether it's a staff meeting or a day of PD, WICOR strategies are being used to bring the content that we need to discuss at those meetings. We have a solid process in place for onboarding our new staff. All new teachers have to go through an AVID training at the beginning of the school year, where they get about an hour and a half where we talk through what AVID and WICOR means. And we also are sharing out lesson plan templates at that time that include WICOR as people are planning their lessons for instruction. We've also tied WICOR into our personal growth. So we have SLOs and PPGs. SLOs are student learning outcomes, and the PPG is personal professional growth. And so basically it's a way where teachers are creating goals for themselves and for their students to become better. And those SLOs and PPGs are aligned to WICOR. So teachers may pick a practice that they want to see improved in the classroom, or they have a targeted group of students that they're hoping to increase either like writing or critical thinking or those reading skills throughout the school year. We also are using school-wide walks to monitor the WICOR throughout the school year. And so we're able to see our progress with the WICOR during those school-wide walks. Again, there's teacher quotes there if you want to take a moment to pause. So how do we know it's working? In our artifacts, you will also see examples of our school-wide walks starting in 2017 until the school year 2021. And you'll notice just the different types of reflections and comments that we're making during those school-wide walks, and that each year when our focus based on our theory of action or our school improvement plan, we're seeing growth in those areas to then create new next steps for the upcoming school years. You'll also notice different conversations or discussions around next professional development that we might need to support the learning or needs that the school-wide walks are telling us. We've also, as Maria had alluded to, that CCI has been a huge shift in our systems at South High School. The CCI has now kind of given us that direction and focus that we can provide for professional development, and also just really knowing what we're looking for when we're looking at student examples or going into classrooms to look at student engagement. And so that CCI has been a big indicator and push for us to continue growing WICOR school-wide. As the instructional coach, we are constantly working through coaching cycles, myself and our administrative team, around WICOR, and talking again about how are we intentionally planning for WICOR in all lessons every single day. And then one of the biggest things that's helped us shift and continue to move this process forward is that we have currently 78% of our staff trained, AVID trained. And so we have that common language that's allowing us to not have to reteach or go back and talk through AVID and what it is, but being able to kind of move to that next level.
The next steps that we will be taking is each Wednesday we do the WICOR Wednesday walks. So we take that observation data and provide a professionalized personalized professional development for our staff. We are looking at doing professional development for a group of teachers that will be focusing on 3 months. So then they can take a look at the practices that they're doing in the classroom. Are they being successful, and having those conversations around that to continue to support our teachers as well as our student learning. To go along with it, we also are developing a system in our building to help our students with organization. So this year we bought all 9th grade students a binder. Staff has been working with the students around their organizations using the binder, along with all students have student planners as well. So again, the staff is strategically providing opportunities for students around organization within the classroom and teaching them how to stay organized. As students get older, the binders will continue to go with them. So next year, the 9th graders that will become 10th graders will have binders, and the new 9th grade students will also have binders as well. So we'll be continuing to shift that along the way. And then as students get older, they can decide what is best for them and their organization.
So then our final goal is around focused note taking. And based off of what we saw with WICOR, we decided that our big focus this year should be around focused note taking. So again, based off of what the CCI is telling us and our school-wide walks, this is kind of our last goal that we have for today. Again, our why is that we received feedback around 2018 from AVID Center that we were seeing more notes happening in the classroom, but that students weren't engaging with those notes or going through the process of the focused note taking or the focused note taking process. So we noticed that there was a need to really kind of go back through that process and what it really meant for students to interact and engage with their notes. We started gradually shifting again that intellectual engagement to the students and how they were utilizing their learning based off of the focus notes. So we did a complete relaunch in 2018 and 2019, starting small with just our AVID site team and our AVID elective. And so we kept those two groups together to focus on focused note taking and kind of go through the 5 phases. We also then in 2019 and 2020 brought this relaunch to our entire staff. And one of the big shifts for us at South was AVID used to have the Cornell Way, which was this huge long process of focused note taking, and then condensing it to the 5 phases made it really easy for staff to grasp and then to be able to teach and instruct in their classroom. So that 5 phases relaunch in 2019-2020 with the South staff made a big shift for us. Then this year we decided that it is our school-wide goal, and so then all of our focus was going to be on focused note-taking. Again, you can see that within our theory of action, but it allowed us to really just pause for a moment and talk through instructional practices and student exemplars within that 5 phases of focused note-taking. Language and instructional practices that we are hearing within our departments. So our departments are now having awesome conversation around focused note-taking within their PLCs. They're bringing in student examples to share what their students are creating in their classroom and interacting, or how students are interacting with their notes. But then they're also able to talk through the instruction and how they got their students to that point. You'll also notice a ton of different types of focused note-taking in our artifacts. We have student exemplars, we have PLC discussions, we have just different types of examples of focused note-taking and how that is happening school-wide within our building.
So the next steps around this is we're going to continue to have our conversations within our PLCs around focused note-taking. So as PLCs are taking a look at it and looking at the notes that students are taking, they're analyzing that information and continuing to provide professional development with each other as they're taking a look at the notes and how they're being utilized so that they can share their learning together. As well as this upcoming year, we're going to take a look at the focused note-taking and how it's impacting the student learning. So this upcoming year, or this year, we're focusing on the 5 phases, and this upcoming year we'll continue that focus, but then begin to take a look at how is the focused note-taking that students are doing in the classes impacting their overall learning.
So while AVID has impacted our staff and our school, the greatest impact is our students, and that is our why. We encourage you to take a few minutes and watch the video of our AVID alum college graduates. Thank you for your time and considering Waukesha South as a national demonstration school.